I, Alex, 27 years old, and my girlfriend, Emma, 24 years old, have been living together for almost 2 years. Our relationship started to develop rapidly, and soon after Emma moved in with me, her mother, Laura, 57 years old, was evicted from her apartment. She had no choice but to come and live with us. Thus began our utter hell. Laura, despite her years, was in good physical shape. She helped around the house, but she didn't work or even try to find a job. That made her a leech, living off me. Emma, although she had a few part-time jobs, had a similar behavior. She did almost no housework. The entire financial burden fell on my shoulders. I paid all the bills, organized dinners and outings, bought the necessary things. It was getting harder every day. I felt used and unappreciated. Friends and co-workers noticed that I was becoming more irritable and withdrawn. One evening, after a particularly hard day at work, I came home and saw that the house was a mess. Laura was sitting in front of the TV and Emma was leafing through something on her phone. "Could we talk?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "Of course, honey," Emma answered, not looking up from the screen. "I can't go on like this anymore. I'm dragging everyone down and no one is helping me. It's not fair." Emma finally looked at me. There was misunderstanding and resentment in her eyes. "Do you want us to leave?" she asked, and there was a tremor in her voice. "No. I want you to start helping. We should be a team, not just living off me," I replied, feeling the tension building. Laura intervened in the conversation by saying, "I'm doing the best I can, but at my age, it's hard to get a job. Besides, Emma should be the one helping you, not me." I was completely freaked out by these words. I realized that if something didn't change, our relationship was doomed. A few days passed and nothing changed. Laura continued to live with us without taking any steps to find a job or another place to live. I felt trapped. One night, after a particularly stressful day at work, I lay awake for a long time, thinking about how to solve this problem. I remembered how Emma and I had met, how happy we had been together. But now, our relationship was in jeopardy. The next day, I decided to talk things over with Emma alone. We went to our favorite cafe, and I started the conversation with how much I loved and appreciated her. But I also said that our life together couldn't continue in the same way. "I understand that your mum is in a difficult situation, but we have to find a solution. I can't be the one pulling the burden." Emma was silent, listening to me, and then she said, "If you kick Mum out, I'll go with her." Those words hurt me, but I couldn't go on living like this. "If it's your choice, I will understand," I replied with difficulty. After that conversation, I realized that our paths might be diverging. I loved Emma, but I also realized that if she wasn't willing to change for our mutual good, then maybe our relationship was exhausted. That night, I lay awake for a long time, wondering about the future. Was this the end of our love, or the beginning of a new stage where each of us would find our own happiness, but separately? The next morning, I decided to talk to Laura. She was sitting in the kitchen with a cup of coffee and reading the newspaper. "Laura, we need to talk," I began, trying to sound as calm as possible. "Of course, Alex," she said, not taking her eyes off the paper. "I understand that you're in a difficult situation, and I really want to help, but you have to realize that you can't live here indefinitely without working and contributing to our home." Laura finally raised her eyes and looked at me carefully. "I'm trying to get a job, but it's not easy at my age. And then, shouldn't you be supporting Emma?" she said. "I support Emma, but I also have to think about our future. We can't go on living like this. If you don't start looking for a job, and contribute to our house, I'm going to have to ask you to move out." Laura sighed and lowered her head. "I understand, Alex. I'll do my best to find a job." Several weeks passed, but nothing changed. Laura continued to stay at home, and I began to feel that our patience was coming to an end. I came home one evening and found Laura sitting in front of the TV again, and the house was once again a mess. That was the last straw. That evening, I decided to meet with my friend Jack to discuss my situation. Jack has always been a good counselor and friend. We sat at the bar, and I told him about all my problems. "Alex, you have to put yourself first. You can't let others take advantage of you," Jack said, sipping from his beer. "I know, Jack, but it's not that simple. Emma and Laura are family, and I don't want to hurt them," I replied. "But what about you? You're already in pain. If Emma really loves you, she'll realize that you're trying to make things better for everyone," Jack said. Those words made me think. I realized that Jack was right. I couldn't go on living like this. The next day, I decided to meet Emma again. We went to our favorite cafe again, and I started the conversation. "Emma, I've thought about this for a long time, and I realize that we can't go on living like this. I love you, but I can't carry the financial burden anymore." "Laura has to go," I said, trying to stay calm. Emma was silent for a few seconds, and then she said, "If Mum's leaving, I'm going with her." Those words hurt me, but I knew it was the only way out. "If that's your choice, I understand," I replied, feeling my heart clench with pain. Emma returned home and started packing her things. Laura looked stunned when Emma told her about our conversation. "Alex, I understand what you're going through, but I don't know where to go," Laura said, with tears in her eyes. "I'll help you find a temporary place to live and support you financially for the first time, but you can't live here anymore." "It's ruining our relationship with Emma," I replied, trying to stay calm. Laura and Emma gathered their things and left. I was left alone in the empty house, feeling all my hopes and dreams crumble. Was this the right decision? I didn't know, but I did know one thing. I had to make a choice to maintain my dignity and peace of mind. Months passed, and I slowly began to get used to living alone. I focused on my work and hobbies, trying to make sense of my new reality. One evening, I received an email from Emma. In it, she wrote that she had found a job in another city and that Laura had gotten a job too. "I'm sorry, Alex, for not understanding you before. I realized that you were right. I hope you find your happiness. I will always remember our beautiful moments together," she wrote. I felt tears streaming down my cheeks. It was hard, but I knew I had made the right choice. I let go of the past and began to build a new life, knowing that new opportunities and happiness lay ahead of me. One day, I met Emma at our old cafe. She was with a friend who seemed to care about her. We exchanged brief greetings, and I saw a warm spark in her eyes. I realized that she too had found her way. We talked for a while, reminiscing about old times, and I felt there was no more tension between us. Emma told me that she and Laura now lived in a small town, and Laura had found a job at the local library. Emma had also gotten a good job and was feeling happy. I was happy for her. "Alex, I wanted to say thank you for everything. You've taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for that," Emma said, smiling. "I've learned a lot thanks to you too, Emma." "I'm glad you're doing well," I replied, feeling the weight of the situation fading from my shoulders. A few years passed, and I found my happiness. I met a wonderful woman who appreciated me and respected my efforts. We built together a house full of love and understanding. Sometimes I thought back to those difficult times and realized that they had helped me become stronger. One day, I received a letter from Laura. She wrote that she now understood how difficult it was for me at that moment and thanked me for my support. Alex, I want to say thank you for what you have done for us. I have realized my mistakes and am trying to be a better person. I wish you happiness and good luck in everything, she wrote. I felt the past finally letting go of me. I was glad that I had been able to help Laura and Emma despite all the difficulties. I knew now that I had made the right choice. That was the end of our story. We all found our happiness, but separately. Sometimes life puts us in front of difficult choices, and it's important to take a step forward, even if it hurts. After all, it is these steps that help us grow and find our true happiness. If you enjoy listening to fascinating stories about the lives of ordinary people, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I publish new audio stories every day, and each of them is a unique look at human destinies and experiences. By subscribing, you will be able to enjoy fresh, sincere, and touching stories every day, simply by turning them on at any time. I would be grateful if you recommend my channel to your friends and acquaintances who also like to listen to interesting and exciting stories. Join and immerse yourself in the world of amazing audio stories.